Hi, so how many of you watched the Kelly Bright documentary yesterday on BBC One? If you haven't, I suggest that you do. I think it's great that the system's finally been shown in the right light, because for those that have been going through it and have been stuck in it for so long, it is very hard. And when you've already got so much going on and you're struggling already, another battle, it is so hard, especially mentally. But it's something you have to do, because you want the best for your child. You want them to have an education. You want them to be able to go to school and just have that support that they need. So with my daughter, she's autistic, she's non-verbal, and at first I noticed that she was struggling, like she wasn't talking and things like that, and I thought, oh, I'll try and get her into a nursery and maybe that would bring it on. So got her into a nursery, and she was in that nursery a year, and then they basically turned around in an email and said, oh, you can't bring her anymore. We can't meet her needs. She's not safe to be here. After a year of being there. So then I went and looked at schools in the area. I was told that she couldn't go to a SEND school because she didn't have an EHCP at that point, although it had been started. And at this point, we didn't really know that she had autism. So we got her into a mainstream school who promised they'd be able to support her, they could meet her needs, they knew all about everything that had gone on in the nursery and promised the exact opposite. And then helped me get an EHCP for her and a one-to-one for her. And we had so much difficulty, because once we was in that school and that school had been named, even though we was trying to get a SEND provision then, and I was told there are no places, so they named the mainstream, and then it was like she was stuck there, and she was stuck there for years. Finally, in year 3 of all the struggles, like, you have to remember, like, she was going through that school, she was non-verbal, she was struggling with all the sensory overloads. She couldn't do the work other children was doing. Like, her main thing she was doing was playing. It was very hard to get her to understand, like, instructions and things like that. She's a lot better at that now. But it was so hard, and she was still in nappies because she didn't understand needing the toilet, or when she needed to be going to the toilet. She's still in nappies now. She is 7 now, but come September, just gone, we actually got a SEND provision named on her EHCP, and she's now in a SEND provision. Early days, but it seems to be the best thing for her. Much small classes. She's gets transport to the school, which she's loving. I was real nervous about that and really worried about that. But all them years in between of getting from mainstream to the SEND provision was so hard, and it makes you doubt yourself as a parent. Am I doing enough? Am I shouting loud enough? What more can I do? Especially when you're seeing other people just getting it, and you're like, well, why isn't my child, like, she needs it? What's different? What am I not doing? What's not good enough? And I was literally, at one point, I was literally emailing everywhere, complaining, just trying, like, my best. and it is so overwhelming. And I found like most of the help of like I got off people were literally off other parents and things like that, especially other parents that had been through it, that knew how all the struggles. They were like the best people to go to. And I'm glad that it's finally being highlighted, like how hard it is and how much the system needs to change. Like there's so many children that haven't got the place that they need, and are sat at home because they don't fit into mainstream. And it's not really about fitting in. It's like they can't meet their needs. They can't keep them safe. And there's children that go into SEND school, and it's the same thing. But there are so many children that are just sat at home because they do not have a school place. They've got nowhere to go, and there aren't the places. So I'm glad that somebody, well, famous, has used their platform to highlight it, and hopefully something good comes from it, because I do think that the system needs to change. And hope that people who aren't going through that struggles watch this programme and listen to stories like mine and can actually see how hard we have it, as well as all the battles that we have going on, like all the struggles we have daily. But yeah, so if you haven't watched the documentary, I suggest and would like that if you did, just so you can get like a sense of understanding of what people are going through. This is my story, and thank you for listening.